What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Season 4 NHL 23 Edmonton Oilers Franchise Mode Series. As you guys can see here, Connor McDavid just accepted his contract extension we offered him. He was asking for $12 million. I thought that was too cheap, so I actually gave him $13 just to, be fair to the captain, even though he's trying to take that hometown discount. You can see currently popping off in the preseason, 11 points in 6 games. As always, too, guys, really appreciate the support on these videos. If you wouldn't mind leaving a thumbs up, it really helps me out. As you guys saw at the beginning of the video, we just signed Connor McDavid with a contract extension, $13 million for the next 6 years. Again, at 98 overall, McDavid definitely should get more than that. Say he goes for Draisaitl, 96 overall, only getting like 11.5. There'll be like 92, 93s in free agency, asking for 14, 15 million probably this summer. You guys get the bottom there too. We have $4 million in cap space. Looking to use that at the deadline this season. Now, to start the year, I feel like our team's already set. A lot of good young players who hopefully will grow. Draisaitl, McDavid, Patty Kane's our new first line, getting a +5. We got Hyman down the second, playing with Michael Misa, the rookie, and Dylan Holloway. Misa here made a huge trade for, giving up Dylan Larkin. On the third line, Nugent Hopkins, Benson, Yamamoto. We drafted Benson a couple years ago. He's finally breaking into the NHL, third line center. Playing with a couple good wingers there in Nugent and Yamamoto, so hopefully he does well. I get a +2 chem as well. Poulin there on the fourth line with Millette and McLeod. I had some people asking me why I have Millette in the NHL when he's only 65 overall, but as I mentioned before, he's a fan of the channel. Hopefully he'll grow in rating with those NHL minutes. And in terms of the defense, we got Taze, Klingberg, top pair. Pietrangelo, who we just traded for, Chicken on the second pair, they get a +5. Also the top pair there gets a +3. We then have Broberg, Jersey, bottom pair. So like, that decor is really nice. We got a great number 1 in Taze. Goaltending, still rocking Skinner there as the starter. And Nico Dawes is actually the new backup. Also, too, guys, scratch here. I have a 44-year-old Craig Henderson. Basically, just want to get his name on a cup. You guys are saying if we make the playoffs, got to put him as the backup goalie because he won't be playing anyways unless, of course, Skinner gets pulled. Now, in terms of special teams, that power play 1 is just unreal. Hyman, Kane, Draisaitl, McDavid, Klingberg getting a +5. Like last year, I've actually got McDavid on both power plays to hopefully, up his production to be more realistic to this season. Misa's also out there on the second power play. Hopefully, he can win the Calder Trophy. I think that'd be pretty cool. You guys see the 4-man power play there also gets a +5. Same with the 4-man too. So chemistry looks really good for the power play. PK1 also getting a +5 there. PK2 is a +1, which isn't bad. We got Benson out there. McDavid and Draisaitl on the third unit. Basically, if they got to go out, might as well be the best players. You guys can see 3-man 1, 3-man 2, and the third 3-man. No negatives to chemistry is huge. Also, too, I should mention, we brought in a new head coach for this year. He's an A- overall. Hoping for big things from him. In terms of the AHL team now, guys, we got Simino, Abramov, Lavoie on the first line, which looks really nice. Tulio, Kirk, and Durafayev here on the second. Costa and Suzuki, Chase on the third, with Noel, Leeson, Protas on the fourth line. Of course, that's that big line for us. Defensively here, Nimo Lainen, Stan and Palika on the top pair. Labushkin, Himasalmi on the second, with Mikaizik, Korschak on the bottom pair. And then goaltending here, we got Hunter Jones starting, with Vinny backing him up. So both teams are looking good. Both teams I do expect to make the playoffs, and honestly, championship runs for each. Now, of course, I have the same here, guys. I'll show you the ratings for this team. As you can see there, we got 95 offense, 96 defense, 85 goaltending. Hopefully that's good enough to win a Stanley Cup. Let's find out. Now, this is funny, guys. The Calgary Flames are trying to trade Cody Ceci back to us for a 3rd and a 6th. Definitely going to say no. And I just want to say, it is crazy how much of a difference a good head coach makes in this game. If you guys remember last episode, we had a losing record at the Christmas break. This time, as I'm about to say this, we lose 3 of 4, 4 of 5. 5 of 6, alright, but you can see we're playing much better. We're 21, 10, and 4 here. We were doing a lot better till I had to open up my big mouth and jinx us there, but still 22, 10, and 4 the Christmas break. First in the division there. I think in terms of NHL, we're actually tied with the Red Wings for first. So, yeah, the team's doing quite well. AHL-wise, 19-11. They're also in a playoff spot. AHL scoring leader there, Tulio, about a point per game. 2 goals, 25 assists. That is a pretty crazy stat line for a 4, looking like Joe Thornton. In terms of NHL, McDavid's got 49 and 36. So he's on a heater here. Hopefully he can keep that up towards the trade deadline. Again, we got about $4 million in cap space. That actually reminds me, I do want to double check if there's anybody else in these extensions aside from McDavid. Chikrin there, we can't give one to because he's on a 1 year. Klingberg we could. He wants 8.7 though. I feel like we can probably find a cheaper offensive defenseman option, although, let's see. 32 points in 36 games is pretty good. The thing is, like I said, I think we could probably find somebody, maybe even honestly just hope Sandin Palika grows to like at least an 82 by this time next year. I see would actually be a really solid cheap option to quarterback that power play on an entry-level deal for the next 3 seasons. And I do see we could extend Millette here, who I think went up in rating by 1. So I'll just see here, $800K for 2 years. Let's see, what if we want him on a long-term, 8 years? It's still league min, so that could just be best contract in hockey if he grows for us. Also, too, Stuart Skinner here was making 2.6. He wants 6.5. So that is going to be a tough decision to make. Dawes 82 there. Obviously in the AHL, we got Jones, we got Vinny. I would like to keep Skinner. Like, I like to keep goalies long term. They just usually end up, pricing themselves off the team. Now, look at this, guys. Columbus is essentially offering us a 3rd round pick for Magnuson. We have to give them a 7th and then we're swapping fourths. Pretty good offer, honestly, for a guy currently scratched in the AHL team. If you look at him here, 23 years old, 72 overall, low top 6, really nothing special. For a third-round pick, I'm going to say yes to that. It actually gives us like a decent amount of picks in this year's draft. Still about a month away here from the deadline, first in division. If we can hold that spot, I'm definitely going to go hard, try and bring in, whoever we can, maximize our salary cap space here at the deadline. Now, the Islanders made us a huge offer, but it's a bunch of just like average stuff. Schultz, Greer, Primo, Dvorak, 3rd, 4th, 6th. I'm going to say no. Those guys don't really help our team. I'm trying to bring in a star player. You guys can see a little over a week away now. Continuing to play well. Could have 85 points by the deadline if we win these next couple games. Silverberg, Kakinen, 3rd, 4th, Millette. Again, not the kinds of players I'm looking to bring in. I'm trying to bring in like actual impact players. So we got 81 points here at the deadline, which actually puts us second in the NHL there behind the Panthers, tied with the Devils. Scoring leader, of course, McDavid's got 85 right now. AHL-wise, Raphael Lavoie actually up to 46. AHL team still in a playoff spot. So we'll get to the deadline. We'll see, who the top players on the block. I'd say we're full buyers this year for sure. Again, I think that head coach is really making a huge difference. Jack Eichel. Imagine him and McDavid on the same team. He's got 1 year left there, 9.6. Morgan Riley, Mackenzie Weegar, Mark Stone, Saros there. I mean, 6 years left at 6.2. Stuart Skinner was asking us for 5.6 or 6 million. Saros is 90 overall. He's 30 years old, so this pays him until he's 36, but obviously Saros is a lot better than Skinner. And Skinner's asking for a similar contract. Adam Pelech there, Patrick Laine, really not that much trade value for a great sniper. I mean, imagine him on a line with Draisaitl, McDavid, that would be unreal. Tarasenko there, who actually went to Golden Knights. Carter Hart, 1 year left. Rasmus Anderson. And I'm definitely interested in Saros. I'm definitely interested in Laine. Again, we have the cap space. We can make this work, especially if, say, Columbus here would be willing to retain. Now, so far this season, Laine's got 43 points, 21 goals. Not too bad. And are you kidding me? I want to take a look at Saros' stats, and Predators already traded him. This happens so much. Like, the trade deadline just started. Look at 645. I see why they traded him. Askarov there, 90 overall, making no money. Although they haven't extended him yet. But, come on. That always happens. Look at this, guys. I was curious who traded for Saros, and it's the Columbus Blue Jackets, who I was just thinking about making a trade with for Patrick Laine. Come on. What are the odds? Wait, don't tell me. Laine's gone now, too? Are you kidding me? We're still barely into the deadline. The 2 players I was looking at are already gone. What are the odds of that? Also, too, guys, I should show you Michael Misa now at 84 overall, so good chance to win the Calder this year. He's got 48 points, 64 games. Minus 12, though. It's actually looking... Pretty much every forward outside that first line is a dash player, which I don't understand. So I wouldn't mind, switching up this forward group. Gonna try and bring in Tarasenko here at 50%. Basically our second option to Laine. Again, I was actually kind of excited to potentially get Saros, similar price to what Skinner was asking. I just can't believe these computers are all targeting everybody I want. I swear, I was gonna say if this trade alert has to do with Tarasenko. So good amount of value there. This year's draft, we have our first round pick, but it's pretty low because we're playing well. 2nd, 4th, and 6th. I mean, are we playing fast and loose here with these first round picks? Yes, but we're trying to give McDavid a cup. Wow. That first is not even close to Tarasenko's rating. Now right here, guys, I'm sure to make a small trade. The Chicago Blackhawks for Connor Murphy. Very solid defensive defenseman. You can see there, 89 D awareness, 92 shot block, 90 stick check. He's got the shot blocking X factor along with the great hitters. So could be good, bottom pair defenseman on our PK. I'm actually offering up Sean Durzi 1-for-1. They have Murphy on the block. Durzi looks to have similar value. $4 million this year and next. Was originally going to try and trade him for picks, but not playing well for us this year. 6 points, minus 20. I mean, he should be doing better than that. I don't get it. Maybe it just doesn't go well with Broberg. So I wasn't planning on bringing him back next season anyways. Bring in Murphy here to hopefully, help us out on the playoff run. Blackhawks say yes. So there's one deal done. Still looking to bring in a forward for that top 9. And now next year, guys, I got my eyes on Evgeny Malkin. Only 83 overall, but he's actually produced a ton this year. 48 points in 61 games. He's a beast, obviously. You can see there, he's still got great puck skills and shooting. Also, 92 offensive awareness, 96 poise. He's a playoff player. Definitely slowed down looking at his skating, but if he's playing third line for us, maybe second power play, he should be a boost to this team. Also, to look at his trade value, you can see much easier to trade for than, say, Tarasenko. I actually saw a lot of people saying I should trade for Crosby because, of course, he's the player McDavid looked up to. So I would like to do that. He's 38, probably, don't have too much time left before he retires. So maybe this summer could bring in Crosby. I'm not sure. Malkin would still be on the team, but 87 and 97 playing together, I do think would be very, very cool. So Malkin here hopefully would cost, no more than a first. It would be about a first. I'm honestly just probably going to bring him in, not give up any roster players, just to make sure we can kind of be more flexible chemistry-wise. I feel like 1-for-1, this probably gets it done. Just in case I'm gonna have them retain some money. So I would say we're not quite all in. We do have, some picks left in this year's draft. Didn't give up any of our great prospects, but hopefully made a couple nice moves there to increase our chances of winning Stanley Cup. And so the trade deadline is now complete, guys. We'll see those big trades that happen for Saros as well as Line A. And Mark Stone goes to his hometown of Winnipeg. Wow, that's the last trade. Vegas gets 2 first-round picks and 2 other pieces. And I just noticed Winnipeg also got William Karlsson. What an absolute blockbuster there at like the final minutes of the trade deadline. I got Scott Law to Boston, our trade for Melkin, Cole Lind to the Sabres, Ferraro there to the Stars. Let's see, our trade for Connor Murphy, Mikael Granlund, and Dubé to the Buffalo Sabres. Calgary gets a first back, plus they take Jeff Skinner's contract. Interesting. Nick Schmaltz there to the Blue Jackets for a first-round pick. Vladar to the Wild. Yarncroc to the Bruins. Anderson there to the Hurricanes. For 2 first-round picks and Musty, that's a pretty steep price, honestly. Philip Misar and Jan Mysick to the Vancouver Canucks for Connor Garland and Ekman Larson. Interesting trade there by Montreal, getting up a couple prospects. Fabry to the Lightning. Let's see, Jake McCabe to the Kraken, White Cloud to the Blues, Bennington to Vegas, that's interesting, for Neil Pionk, Connor Brown to the Red Wings, Zadorov to the Canadians, Dvorak to the Blue Jackets, Theo Lindstein and Owen Beck to the Senators, Eric Gustafsson. Oh wow, I must have gone up in rating. The Predators there actually traded Line A for Saros, so that's why both guys were gone, both on the block, and they get traded for each other. The 2 guys I was eyeing, what are the odds? So Saros in a first and 2 other pieces to go to Columbus. Nashville gets Line A, Bean, and 2 others. That is an absolute blockbuster. No way around it. Buffalo Sabres there also add Owen Tippett. Hopefully you can see the whole trade here. So Nashville got Line A, Bean, a 4th and a 5th in exchange for Saros, a 1st, Lambos, and Vidicek. I definitely like this trade more for Columbus, especially with Line A on an expiring deal. And right here, guys, the Vegas-Winnipeg trade. 2 first, Liam Ogren is a solid prospect, and Quint for Stone Karlsson, a 3rd. Just a crazy trade deadline. Logan Stanley here on waivers. $850K for 2 more years. 27, so he's done growing, but he is 80 overall. He's 6'7". I mean, I feel like we might as well pick him up. He could definitely help with the team. And so after the trade deadline, guys, should update a look at the lines. The first line staying intact, as like I mentioned, the only players on the team with positive plus minus is this first line. Like after it, look at that. Nuge, Misa, everyone's a dash player, and yet we're like a top 5 team in the NHL, so it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Because of that, I switched it up. So you can see we got Yamamoto, Misa, Nuge on the second line now getting a +3. Benson, Malkin, Hyman's the third line also get a +3. So really just changed up who's playing with who, where they're playing, and they actually made, for better chemistry. Fourth line also is pretty stacked, I think. Poulin, McLeod, and Holloway. Defensively now, of course, we got Connor Murphy, bottom pair, playing with Broberg. They actually get a +1 now as well, so just better chemistry. No real changes to the power play side, so I think Malkin's on the second power play there out front of the net. In terms of the PK, I've actually got Connor Murphy on the first PK one as well as the first 3-man PK. Might resign him, honestly, just because, like I said, so good defensively. I feel like we got enough offensive defensemen. No change to the AHL team, aside from, I guess, picked up Logan Stanley. He's playing top pair, Stan and Palika. Hopefully, he's a defensive defenseman. That is a good duo there. So, got about a month and a half left to sim here, guys. Hopefully, the moves we made at the deadline help with the team out. And start the end of the season now, guys. The record of 50, 27, and 5, which is good for 105 points on the year. And not the President's Trophy. Panthers had 109. Rangers 110, actually. Hurricanes 109. Devils 107. So I think we finished like 5th there. McDavid, though, 114 points. It's a very good year. Even though it's no, 150 like real life. I don't think we're going to have him get 150 in games. With a 7 scoring set to medium. AHL-wise, Tulio, 62 points there. AHL team does make the playoffs, I believe, for the first time. So that's good to see. Take a look here and see what everyone else did. Draisaitl should also be, 100-plus points. Wow, 99. It's like I jinxed him as I was saying that. Patty Kane, 84 over point per game. Hyman there, 67. Misa started playing better with like the new lines as he actually finished with a +- 0. Nuge as well went from a dash player to a +2, and he was like a -17. Malkin there at 60 for us. Same with Taze. Klingberg, 59. Holloway, 35, -23. That's kind of tough. Pretty good though, considering like he was in the bottom 6. Yeah, Motto, 31. Hope for a bit better from him. Benson, 29 is also not terrible. Chikrin, 19. Like, I really think he should be scoring more based on 5-star puck skills and 5-star shootings. That one's a bit strange to me, but overall, not too bad. Skinner stats here, 906 save percentage, 3 goals against, 8 shutouts on the year, which is very solid. In terms of the AHL, Jones, 911, a 231. Vinny there, pretty decent stats as well. Behind Tulio, Lavoie, 60, 7057. Duro, 555, same with Suzuki. Abramov, only 45. I feel like I expected him to do better, too, with that wicked shot he's got. Overall, though, not too bad. Stan and Palika, 42 points. Again, if he gets up to like at least an 80, Probably getting called up to the NHL team next season. And look at the entire league here, guys. McDavid did win another Art Ross trophy. He's just dominating the league. Keller put up 106. I mean, that Coyotes team's got a ton of good young talent he's playing with. Rantanen 105. Ovi put up 103 points at 40 years old. This dude straight up does not age. Draisaitl with 99. Sam McKinnon, Matthews, Boldy, Barkov. In terms of goals, McDavid actually gets a Maurice Richard trophy, so very, very cool. Defensive scoring here, Yossi 83. Makar, Hughes, Fox. I mean, pretty much the usual suspects. You can see Barry there on the Montreal Canadiens. Still putting up points there with 62. Goaltending, Vanacek had the most wins. Skinner, though, only one back of him. Save percentage goes to Shesterkin for a starter, 919. And he also had the best goals against at 2.55. So he's probably taking home the Vezina. Rookie skaters here. Come on, Michael Misa. And he does lead in points, 66. And a much better plus-minus than Chaz Lucius there with a minus 28. So, I mean, looking at this, Misa should be taking home the Calder Trophy. If he doesn't, we're getting absolutely screwed there. Now, look at the entire league here, guys. Like I mentioned, I think we're about 5th. Yeah, literally 5th, 105 points. I had 8 teams there, the 100 plus. Ooh, Columbus, Toronto kind of get screwed. Minnesota, Dallas, Calgary, St. Louis at 21 gets in. Ottawa finishes last place in the NHL, which is pretty surprising. I feel like a few years from now, they'll actually be a really good team in the league, not, basement dwellers. Goals for, we're actually first, though, which is awesome. So we're getting some more scoring aside from McDavid, Draisaitl. Goals against here, the Rangers were the best. We're actually not even at the top of the page. So, like I said, I think bringing in Connor Murphy should help with that. Also, too, Skinner didn't have the best season this year. So, if we do re-sign him, hopefully he can bounce back next year. Now, first round here, guys, we have the St. Louis Blues. They finished 21st in the entire NHL. They're the worst team to make the playoffs. So, I'm already expecting an upset here. Let's see. They got Kuzmenko, Thomas, Kyrou first line, Shen, Fantilli, Calabrini second line. I mean, come on. Calabrini second, Fantilli fourth. Real life, you're looking at first overall 2024, second overall 2023. That's nasty. Neighbors, Trennan, Kubalik. They have a 65 here in Hootenin, playing with Dean and Sod. Defensively, Krug, Pionk, Falk, Jones, Mata, Pareko. Goaltending here, Hofer starting, Lankin and backing him up. I just remember, too, guys, you got to make Anderson the backup here for these playoffs to make sure he does get his name on the cup if we're able to win it. So, obviously, that's, counting our chickens before they hatch. We got to get by St. Louis Blues here in round 1. Hopefully we can. Home ice advantage. And first game's a win, 6-4. Second game's a win, 6-3. So we're scoring. Third game, 5-4 win, 2-0 win. Let's go. So we sweep the Blues there. Heading to round 2. Let's see who we got here. The Calgary Flames. All right. So, Battle of Alberta. Wouldn't have it any other way. Draisaitl's currently got 6-4. Flames first line here. Huberdeau, Kadri, Pacioretty. Kadri down at 84, kind of surprising at 35. Coronado's in the NHL now at 80. Playing with Rosica, Skinner. Of course, they made that kind of big trade for him. Well, how many years did he get back on his contract? 2 years at $6 million. Why does that seem smaller? Did he get re-signed already, or maybe the game lowered it a ton? Coleman, Howla, Robinson, Barbanov, Zeri, Pelche. Pelche's 85 on the fourth line. Defensively here, Uyghur, Tanev, Ceci, Vukojevic, Poirier, why not? Goaltending, Markstrom still starting for them. And Dustin Wolf's actually the backup now instead of Vladar. So, Battle of Alberta should be good. Obviously, we got the best player in the world in McDavid. Hopefully, he can kind of find another level here, propel us into the conference final. First 2 games are at home. Let's see what happens. 2-0 win, 2-1 OT loss. So, surprisingly low-scoring games here, both very close. 2-1 OT win, geez. 5-1 wins. We're starting to come away with it. 1 win is all we need here in the next 3. Head home for Game 5. It's a loss. Game 6 in Calgary is an OT loss. There's no way. Come on, boys. Game 7 at home in Edmonton. Winner moves on to the conference final. 0-0 after 1. 0-0 after 2. Are you kidding me? Michael Misa, the most likely Calder winner, opens up the scoring there in the 3rd. 15 minutes left to go. Calgary power play. And that is a big PK from the boys. Halfway through the 3rd period now. Hopefully can hold on to this one. We are outshooting them by a little bit. Approaching the 5-minute mark now. Nazem Kadri. 4 minutes left. I was about to say, hopefully he can add the empty netter. Connor Murphy, the defensive defenseman, with 2 minutes to go, scores the game and series winner. Are you kidding me? So, what a trade deadline acquisition he turned out to be. Coming up clutch there. I can't believe that. And we now have the Dallas Stars in the conference final. And over in the East, you got the Red Wings versus the Panthers. That's kind of an interesting matchup. McDavid's got 13 points in 17 games. Normally, over a point per game for a player is good, but when it's Connor McDavid, honestly, I wish he was averaging closer to 2. So Dallas here looks kind of sick. Robertson, Stankoven's down 87. And Zuccarello on the first line. They got Sagan on the second. Claude Giroux, okay, so he left Ottawa. And Rupe Hintz, who's at 90. Delandria there. Johnston, Gallagher, interesting. Gallagher actually went up in rating. Marchment, Kerfoot, Nieto. So tons of depth on this team. They got the star power there, and Robertson and Hintz. I mean, that forward group looks deadly. Defensively, Heiskanen's their number 1. Play with Lundqvist. They got Benning, Lindell, Ferraro, Kyrou. I mean, the D looks pretty good too. I'm assuming, yeah, they got Andre and Net. Wow, honestly, this is a good team. This is a very good team. If we lose to them, I'll be fine with it because that team is solid. Also, too, I just realized should check in on the AHL team and see how they're doing. I just realized, too, our AHL team did make the playoffs the one year because we lost to Calgary Wranglers in the first round. But this year we actually beat them in a rematch, which is awesome. And against the Coachella Firebirds, looks like we are actually in Game 7. So, regardless, we're going to look at the NHL team now. Because we're in the conference final, we'll be saving these ones period by period. And the AHL team, guys, is moving on to the conference final, play the Grand Prix Griffin. Let's go. Hopefully here the NHL team can make it to the Stanley Cup final. Game 1, 0-0. Game period 2, 2-1 lead. Kane and Chikrin for us, Gallagher for them. Wow. And they get 2 unanswered in the third, Zuccarello and Robertson to win it. Obviously, you'd really like to win the first game, but that's all right. They're up 1-0 down the first of the second. Still 1-0. 3-1. Drew with the empty netter, Zuccarello. McLeod gets our lone goal. So, losing 2 at home is not ideal, but still, a lot of series left. 5 games to play. We got to win 4 of them, so we definitely have to win this one here. Are up 1 early. Pietrangelo, 3-0 now. Nuge, Pietrangelo again. Hold on there, 4-0. Samuel Poulin. I mean, where are the big boys? Where's McDavid? Where's Draisaitl? How are these guys not performing in these playoffs? Again, though, that was a huge game. 2-1 series now. If we go down 3-0, that's probably all she wrote. Chance to tie it here in Dallas. 4-0 lead. I called him out. McDavid gets 2. Draisaitl gets 1. Malkin adds 1 as well. 4-1. 5-2. Draisaitl adds an empty netter. And Giroux there, unfortunately, it doesn't really matter his goals. So, series is tied. We called out, the stars on this team, and now we got a chance. Obviously, head home to Edmonton. We got to win at least 1 game in Edmonton if we want to move on to the Stanley Cup final. Game 5. Games tied 1 apiece. Sagan, Yamamoto. Still 1-1, head to the third. Wow. 4-2. McDavid, Pietrangelo, Draisaitl. Hintz for them. This is insane. So, the teams rattle off 3 straight wins. Have to win 1 of the next 2, and we're on the Stanley Cup final. First year with a new head coach. That's actually an A- overall, and look what's happened, guys. Obviously, we got to win 1 more game here, though. Let's see what happens. 1-0 lead. Samuel Poulin. 1-1. Robertson answers back. 3-1. Nieto, Lundqvist. I might have spoke too soon. I mean, still, conference final, Game 7. We're in a pretty good spot here. Head home to Edmonton. I would say I'm still pretty happy here. Hopefully, though, the boys can find a way. Let's go. McDavid, put the team on your back. And it's 1-1. Benning and Draisaitl. That sucks. 4-1 for them. I'm just going to assume that's it. Yeah, 5-2. Malkin gets 1. Gallagher empty netter. So unfortunately, we lose Game 7 there of the conference final. I really thought we'd make the Stanley Cup final this year. And over in the Eastern Conference, Florida beat Detroit in 7. So going to be a Florida-Dallas Stanley Cup final. Now the AHL team's actually tied at 3 games apiece. And they lose to the Griffins. Are you kidding me? Both teams lose Game 7 conference final. That is heartbreaking. And the playoffs are now complete, guys. Dallas Stars went on to win the Stanley Cup. So at least we lost the eventual champion. And the Utica Comets there win the Calder Cup. And look at the lottery results here. The New York Islanders jumped from 5-1 to get Gavin McKenna. That's kind of nuts. Vegas from 9-2 with the Winnipeg Jets pick. They trade for Mark Stone and Carlson and don't even make the playoffs. Not even really that close, honestly. And you can see Ottawa there dropping from 1st to 3rd. I'll take a look at the awards next here as well. See everyone did in the playoffs. Again, I think we just kind of ran into a really good Dallas team and got unlucky. Dallas there beat the Coyotes in 5, Wild in 7, us in 7, and then the Panthers in 5. So, I mean, when you look at how close we played them, I feel like if we got through that team, had a really good shot, honestly, at beating Florida for that Stanley Cup. So McDavid there, over point per game. Draisaitl had 15, but 10 goals isn't bad. Malkin 12, Pietrangelo 12 with a +9, Kane 11, Tays 11. I mean, not terrible. You would like, a bit more production from some guys. Let's see. Skinner had solid stats. 9.34, 2.17, 3 shutouts in 18 games. Definitely cannot complain about him. Now look at the awards here, guys. Obviously, we know the team awards. Rangers winning back-to-back President's Trophy is honestly kind of nuts. McDavid's 4th Art Ross Trophy in 5 years. I mean, if he could win 2 more straight, imagine just all McDavid. Plus, he'd literally be going off the list too. Just crazy. Rantanen, though, gets the Hart Trophy. Adam Fox there with his 3rd straight. James Norris. Clayton Keller, Lady Bing. Michael Misa does get the Calder, very cool. Stankoven, Conn Smythe, wow. Shesterkin there, Vezina Trophy, his 3rd in 5 years. Also got the William Jennings. Jet Wu there, Bill Masterton. Arizona coach, Jack Adams. And his Otters, our old coach, goes on to win the Jack Adams with Arizona. That's kind of funny, honestly. Selke there goes to Beniers. Ranchin also got Ted Lindsay, and then McDavid, of course, got the Maurice Richard. How do you get the Art Ross, Maurice Richard, and not a Ted Lindsay or like Hart Trophy? That is kind of a joke. Take a look at the AHL awards next year, guys. Obviously, we came short of winning one of those. Now look at this, Julian Gauthier, most points in the AHL, which is honestly really surprising. He doesn't really have that good of a shot, so I was surprised he simmed well enough to do that. Must have had a bunch of assists. Paul Stastny, though, won MVP. Clancy there, most goals and best rookie. Mete, best defenseman. Schmid, best goalie. Clancy also got MVP of the playoffs. This guy's a beast, apparently. Crystal there, sportsmanship. Darcy, community involvement. And then Zarenko there, lowest goals against. So, we're getting to the draft now, guys. Also, too, we'll look at retired players. If Craig Anderson keeps going, then I feel like we're eventually going to win a cup, and it's going to be the season before he retires, because he's holding out for us. Take a look here. Ovechkin calls it quits. 999 goals. There is absolutely no way Ovechkin retires with 999 goals. He will play at least one more game the next season to get that 1,000th goal. Backstrom there actually retires with his buddy, but he left Washington for San Jose. I'm assuming he signed with the Sharks. I feel like his contract will be done by this point. I'm not positive, though. Corey Perry there calls it quits. Erik Karlsson, this is a big retirement year. Jeff Carter, Brent Burns as well. Parise, Stastny, David Perron, Logan Couture, Jordan Stahl, TJ Oshie, JVR, Alex Pietrangelo. Are you kidding me? I did not expect that. I thought we were going to have him for a bit. Now, he did drop to 83, but he was making $8.5 million for another year, but I was prepared to pay that, so interesting. Our defense, maybe we'll have to bring Klinger back, because we are going to have some holes to fill for sure. But now's the moment of truth here, guys. Checking out the goalies. And Craig Anderson does retire. That's unfortunate. I was hoping to get him a cup there before he called it quits, but the dude's 45 now. He couldn't hold out any longer. Carey Price as well, retiring, but I mean, he's kind of already on LTIR, Halak, Elliott, Talbot, Reimer. And look at some of the players that became coaches. Alex Ovechkin, Erik Karlsson. That'd be pretty cool. And so we're at the draft now, guys. You can see the Islanders' first overall pick is not on the block. They want Gavin McKenna, medium franchise potential. I'm curious to see what his rating's going to be out of the draft, because obviously you can't really predict how they're going to grow, like in the computer-generated sims, essentially. Noah Kosick there, actually, number 2 on the board, which is interesting. Anyone else that's kind of great? Not really. After the top 5. Now we do have Yandel here, who's a gem. Small chance to be low franchise. I assume he's a low elite based on like where he's going to go in the draft, but if he was low franchise, that'd be like the coolest player ever, because you basically never draft low franchise. I've literally never done it. Are you kidding me? Voros here? 50-50 medium franchise grinder? What? There are some interesting players available in this draft. Now, like I was saying before, guys, once you want me to get Sidney Crosby to play him with McDavid, again, you know, McDavid looked up to Crosby as a kid, so I think it'd be pretty cool, especially as Crosby's on his way out. Good about to turn 39. He could retire, honestly, at any point, so that's why I'm going to do the trade now. Still solid, though. Like, put up 88 points last year. We're offering second-round pick, as well as Pavlovsky here. 58 overall, low elite. Could end up being a decent player, but if it gets us to the kid, if it gets us Stanley Cup, it is worth it. Value's a bit on their side, so I'll probably have to add to this. Yeah, trade rejected. I kind of figured that, but honestly, what I'm thinking is, might be time to let go of Jacob Chychrun. He is on an expiring deal, and really just hasn't done much for us. Like, 20 points last year, 11 goals, 8 assists. Even though he's got 91 passing, like, I'm not really sure what the issue with this guy is. Like, I don't know how he's not producing more. I don't think he played on the power play last season, but even when he was on the power play, it wasn't much better. So he's got some value there. They like him. Does this get the trade to go through? Still rejected. I don't plan on bringing Malkin back. Maybe if I send Malkin's rights back to the Penguins, they'll, you know, appreciate it. Now, it does say it's quite close to fair value. So at this point, I don't know. What do we throw in here? We have a couple thirds next year. Do we throw in a third next year? All this to get Sid the Kid? Trades accepted. Okay, so again, Chychrun was like the signing rights, big trade. Now next year, guys, we're trying to get the Flyers' third-round pick in this year's draft, 89th overall, to get the guy who could be medium franchise, offering up a third-rounder a couple years from now. Shoemaker, low bomb 6 prospect, Liam Kirk, just an AHL player, but they want him. Hopefully those 2 extras kind of push the trade through, and they do. Okay, so honestly, I'm not really sure what's going to happen here, but we'll sim to our pick, number 89. Hopefully that guy's not gone yet. Medium top 9 grinder. If that was him, I'm not too upset. I'll look at the first round, though, guys. Gavin McKenna there goes first overall as an 83. So that's actually really cool to see him get, you know, that high rated out of the draft. Obviously, that means he can immediately jump into the Islanders lineup. Going to be probably second, third line. Kostik's also a real prospect from Germany. 81 overall there, medium elite. You then have 4 more 81 overall medium elites rounding out the top 6. And no, guys, our player hasn't been drafted. He was actually 2 away. Leonard Voros. Come on. And 48 overall medium elite grinder. I kind of figured there's no way he's a franchise grinder, but still, 48 medium elite grinder. No X factors either, but still a very cool player. I feel like he'll be like a super, you know, third liner, super fourth liner for us. Definitely a cool player. And now next year, guys, I'm going to try and drop back from a 4th round pick to a 5th, picking up a Sabres 7th. They say no. Maybe we can just throw on a player that, like, I know I'm not bringing back. Honestly, after getting Connor Murphy, really don't need Labushkin there, as he was more of like an NHL insurance option, especially with Logan Stanley. We'll see if Sabres say yes to this. Honestly, maybe we could even get a 6th as well. And yeah, they do that trade. So we pick up a pick there, which is nice, because there are some players I want. So I'll sim to pick number 148 here. I'm going to be taking this guy, Vic Yandel, who could be low franchise. He's a gem. Let's see what happens. And he's a low elite, as we kind of expected. No X factors for him either. Also low rated there at 49, but still, you know, in the 5th round, that's a solid pick. And on the 6th round here, guys, I'm actually looking at this Hewitt goalie. Could be medium elite. Supposed to go around here. Medium backup. Okay. I mean, that happens. We have another 6th round pick here. This one just going to be this medium top 4 defenseman, potentially. Kumatov, medium 7th. All right, so we missed on some picks, hit on some others. Overall, I feel like a pretty solid draft. And so we're at the re-sign phase here, guys, with $23 million in cap space. Luckily, all of our top players under contract. John Klingberg, still an 85. He wants 7.7. We could do that. Patrick Kane. I kind of brought in Crosby, assuming Kane was going to leave. Maybe we could have gotten a 7th round pick for him. I might have missed that, but yeah, 6.8 million for 37. I think we can let Kane go at this point. Like I said, it's the kid taking his spot in the top 9. Connor Murphy, I'd really like to bring back. $4 million. Honestly, in a 2-year till he's 35, I'll even give him like a bit extra, 4.2. Hopefully he says yes, because he actually isn't interested in an extension for whatever reason. Raphael Lavoie there. Might not even be on the NHL team this year. He might still be in the AHL, depending. Brett Leeson wants 1.1. He was at 4th line AHL. Costin, he wants 1.1. Honestly, if Costin says yes to a 1-year, $1 million, he might be on the 4th line. I'll be in the AHL. It's whatever. Now, Stuart Skinner here, guys. He wants $6 million. I don't like paying goalies, but I would like to kind of keep Skinner here. I think 5.5 for 4 years, I guess, because that's, you know, the sweet spot. If he says yes to that. Extension, not interested. Well, that's kind of stupid. Dawes there, Vinny. Jones, 25.80. Might as well keep him for a couple more years as well. And as you can see here, guys, after Petrangelo retiring and trading away Chychrun, if we don't bring back Klingberg and Murphy, we got to bring in at least 3, maybe 4 NHL defensemen. So even though it shows we have a lot of cap space, we really don't kind of after those moves. But Murphy does say yes. Okay, I wasn't sure, but there we go. Costin as well. Skinner wants to test for agency. So like I said, really was hoping we could have made that Saros trade happen. I'm sure there'll be a goalie available. Also, too, like Dawes 82, Jones and Vinny are both 80s, so Vinny's going to grow. The big thing for him is the poise, only 65. Like, that's a big factor, I think, in terms of the playoff success for a goalie. So that's kind of worrisome if he's our starter for next season. And so like I was saying, guys, we've got 20 million salary cap space. I might bring back Klingberg, but there's really no reason, I don't think, to like lock in on him when, say, I don't know, Quinn Hughes could be available in free agency. Goaltending-wise, too, I wanted to bring back Skinner. He said no, so we'll just hold off on him. Could still sign him in free agency if he ends up being kind of, you know, the right goalie for us, but might as well stay flexible here, leaving our options open. And so another free agency period here, guys. Let's see who's available. Jack Eichel, of course, was on that expiring deal. John Klingberg is the top defenseman, and he wants about $500K more because I think he was asking for 7.5 from us. Jacob Trouba there, of course, like a defensive guy. 2 teams interested in Klingberg, so we took a risk there. Obviously, might have to end up paying him a bit more, but I feel like it was worth it. Goaltending-wise, Jake Ottinger. Obviously, just won a Stanley Cup. 27 years old, 89 overall. $9 million. I mean, Carter Hart, though. What the heck? Same rating. $6.5 million. So 2.5 less than Ottinger. Only $300K more than Skinner. Numbers last year were actually really good. 914 save percentage, 289 goals against. I don't understand that one at all. Obviously, I'm going after Carter Hart here, especially because he's only 27. All 3 of these guys kind of lined up their UFA perfectly for when they were still pretty young. 5 years wanted. We got 5 years left. I don't usually pay goalies, but Hart's is 89. I'll offer him 6.75. Standard that, you know, $7 million mark. Leaves us with about 13 million here to try and get a couple defensemen, which I think is going to be easier said than done. Again, Klingberg would be like the top option. Sandin Pellikka, if he does grow, would definitely help us out. And look at this, guys. Matthias Ekholm's available in free agency. 36 years old, only 81 overall now. Wants just under $2 million. I feel like we got to sign him just because, obviously, join the Oilers in real life. Maybe you could play like bottom pair with Connor Murphy. I'll offer him $2 million there in a 1 year. Because he's not like one of the top guys, he shouldn't get any offers right away. And then Klingberg here, we should be able to get Misa and Benson both need new deals in 2 years. So I'm thinking 2 years, 8.25. I mean, yeah, I guess we should have signed him, but again, took a risk. I guess we could offer 2 years, 8.25, and hope he comes back. He's only 85 overall, but also you gotta remember, very, very offensive. Like 93 offensive awareness, only 85 D awareness. His offensive stats there are very good. He's basically going to play better than, you know, an 85 overall defenseman would because he's got a pretty low defensive awareness there. So he could be worth it. We need a guy that can obviously produce on the power play. Oh, this hurts me to do, but yeah, we'll do 8.5 for 2. We'll see what happens there. If it ends up being like Quinn Hughes available next free agency, and I'm definitely going to be a little bit annoyed, but trying to compete for the Stanley Cup every single year. No seasons off. So other than him, unless there's like somebody that becomes available, Evander Kane, 85, wanting 3.5 is actually really good. Could bring him back in the fold. Better than that though, Morgan Frost, 85 overall, wants $2 million. 4 points last year in 20 games, but it's a very solid playmaker. He's fast. Looks to kind of do everything. I feel like gotta make him an offer just because such good value. And next year, guys, I'm checking two-way goalies. Or here, 2066. You got Lennox, though, 2380. I don't understand why the Islanders not signing him. Like, he's solid. I feel like Orr makes more sense just because he's not ready to kind of compete yet. We already got guys that are, like, at that 80 overall mark. And then skaters here, Beckman, 2575. Pretty much a bust, honestly. Payarvi, though, 2062, low top 6, 7th round pick by the Montreal Canadiens. They didn't think he was good enough. Our prospects are pretty terrible because we haven't been drafting, so I'll sign him for sure. Lombardi as well, Red Wings prospect, 2370. I have him starting at like 65, 66, so he did not grow much, but put him in the top 6. I think he could for us. You also got Iskakov here, another Islanders prospect, 2579. He scored a nasty, was it a shootout goal? I forget, just recently. Iskakov, 2373. Sabrongo there. I think our defense actually isn't bad, but could make him an offer. Maybe get rid of some of the guys that are looking like bust. And then 2373, Kisikov, I'll bring him into. Feel like that should help the team out again. Niederback, 2479 UFA. Yzerman, just letting a bunch of guys go here. Ostapchuk, 2379. I don't understand. High top 9. That's going to end up being like a bottom 6 player. I have no idea why, you know, teams wouldn't keep those players. Alright guys, so that young goalie free agent accepted our offer. Payarvi as well as another AHL player. Ekholm rejects though, joins the Devils. I actually gave him a little extra money. Didn't think any other team was going to be interested in him at the same time. That kind of sucks. Iskakov though, so the AHL team's getting him players. Same as Sabrongo, Kisikov there, Lombardi, Ostapchuk, Niederback, AHL team. Yeah, definitely getting some reinforcements. Are you kidding me? Klingberg appreciates the interest, but he goes back to the Dallas Stars. Carter Hart, though, says yes. We have our goalie, Morgan Frost, as well, like I said. Looked to just be a good value Steining. This looks like an amazing trade for us. Ryan Johnson and a 6th for Logan Stanley and a 4th. Ryan Johnson, what's his rating? He's an 80. Oh, my. 2-way defender with 90 passing. Good skater. The defensive awareness is a little bit low, but 89 stick check. Yeah. For Logan Stanley, this is an auto-accept. And I saw this one trading for him, guys, but Johnson here does not have a contract yet. $3.2 million for 2 years. 1 year, 1.5. Okay. I mean, he's going to grow a bit. Let's try 1 year, 1.5, because if he's on our bottom pair, he'll still stay low. And this is always so annoying, guys. I was looking for a defenseman to trade for after losing out on Klingberg, and the Stars have him on the block immediately, which I just find funny. And like I was saying, guys, after losing Klingberg, we need a new offensive defenseman to be the quarterback for our power play. And I was looking, and I saw Ottawa had Chabot on the block, which was pretty surprising. Probably because they're paying Nurse $9 million. It might have screwed them over a bit. Now, I think I got Chabot in the last franchise. I kept looking, though. Morgan Riley's on the block. Same rating there. He is a few years older, but making $500K less and on a longer-term deal, so more cost-controlled. Plus, he put up better numbers than Chabot last year. And I was looking at his stats. I mean, 95 offensive awareness and passing. Put him on power play 1 with McDavid, Draisaitl. Like, are you kidding me? I think this could be an awesome player for us. Now, he has a ton of trade value, so we have to make a big move here. And I feel like after bringing in Morgan Frost at $2 million, which is honestly an absolute steal for an 85, it kind of makes Zachary Benson expendable. I feel like Riley's kind of worth going for. We got Misa there. Benson was third-line center anyways. Frost can definitely play that role. Looking at Benson here, 1 for 1. We'll see if the Leafs say yes. Trade rejected. Value on the table is too far off. Okay, if they're playing hardball, because I thought that was a pretty fair offer, honestly. Now, we could have Nico Dawes this trade. His video will most likely be the NHL backup next year, with Jones being an AHL starter. I guess this Orr guy would be the backup. They like Dawes. We kind of have an extra goalie. I don't know if this will push it through, but maybe. Trade still rejected. Okay. And now with Samuel Poulin on our 4th line, I could give up Costin here. I just signed him in case. Just a couple depth pieces with Zach Benson. I think that's like a pretty good offer for Riley. Trades rejected. They said just a touch. Obviously, we're being, pretty cheap here. Do we throw in a 7th? Is that just a touch enough? And it is. Okay, so that is a big-time trade. Obviously, moving on from Zach Benson could end up costing us if he ends up being a beast of the Leafs, but I feel like Morgan Rielly on the power play with Misa, Draisaitl, McDavid, Hyman out front. Actually, Crosby out front. What am I saying? Hyman's going to be on the unit too. This is going to be insane. Also, too, guys, we still have $6.5 million in cap space, which is actually really good, as I think we still need one more defenseman. Yeah, even if Johnson signs, you're looking at either Nima Line or Sandin Pellikka in the NHL, and if Pellikka only ends up being like an 80, it might be worth it just to have him play in the AHL for one more season. And now look at the remaining free agents here, guys. Josh Manson, David Savard, both 83s want $5 million. I was thinking about maybe bringing Ethan Bear back to Edmonton, 83 overall, wants 3.2. 25 points last year, minus 21. But then I saw Will Borgen here, 82 overall, so one less. Only wants 2.65. Had 11 points last year, but was a plus 20. 91 body check. Truculent's X factor there, pretty solid defensive stats. I feel like he could be a bottom pairing guy. Maybe Murphy's on the second pair. Was 29. Let's do 2 years, 2.75. Even after the Johnson sign, we still have like 3 to 4 million in cap space, which of course we'll use at the deadline. Maybe bring back like an $8 million player at 50%. Let's see. Well, Borgen there does say yes, and so does Ryan Johnson. So I think at this point, team is set for next year. Maybe all I'm really looking for is a couple AHL D-men. Matthias Norlinder here, 26.79. Gonna give him an offer, 2 years there. I saw he's got only 90 awareness, but 92 shot block and stick check. So that just has to do with like how they grow as a player. 92 strength as well, really powerful shot. And Kuliachonic here, 25.79, high top 6. D awareness is kind of low, but still a solid player, powerful shot. I'll make him a 2-year offer as well. And now Vegas here, guys, has a ton of open contract spots. We're gonna see if they want Korczak, McIsaac. They're looking like bust, 25.76. McIsaac's potential has dropped to 7th D, 26.77. For a 7th though, they do say yes. And so you can see we actually have some picks next year. We're just missing our 2nd and 5th round, which considering how many picks we've traded is actually not terrible. I just noticed only our 1st round pick in 2027 is our actual pick. So yeah, we've been trading a ton. Also, guys, I totally forgot I qualified Raphael Lavoie, and Washington just offered him 1.65 for the next 2 years. We'll match that because we do have the cap space, but he's probably going to end up in the AHL this season. And the Columbus Blue Jackets just offered us Anton Forsberg for Nuge. We just signed Carter Hart, so that's an instant reject. Now, next year, guys, I'm trying to trade some extra players on the roster. The Lightning here interested in Abramov, 25.80, low top 6, but didn't really do much last year, 45 points. We have enough good AHL players. If I can package him with Niemelainen, who's like a 7th defenseman, 79 overall, which we don't really need. Obviously, he's big, 6'6". But I was looking around, and these two guys are equal to about a 2nd round pick, so if we can get that from the Lightning, I think that's definitely worth it. Trades rejected, okay, so they're saying that's a bit too much. What if we throw on like a 7th? Trades accepted. Wow, okay, so it was that close to going through. And now next year, guys, I'm offering up Lavoie Noel to the Florida Panthers. I believe Saron Noel was drafted by them, yes. We're sending him back. And then Lavoie, 81 overall now. I feel bad for him kind of stuck in the AHL. Get him a chance here at the Panthers. For 3rd and 7th, they say no. Okay, we'll just do the 3rd round pick. They say yes. Basically just kind of being nice to him there. So now, still have 5 picks in this year's draft. Next year, for a couple seconds. It definitely looks a lot better. And at this point, too, guys, I can show you what the lines are looking like for next season. Super excited, as always, to see what this team is going to do. First line there, we're just going top heavy. I mean, why not? Draisaitl, Crosby, McDavid. You got arguably 2 top 5 players all time on the line together, with Draisaitl as a top 5 player currently. Second line's Holloway, Misa, Hyman getting a +3. We got Yamamoto, Frost, Nuge on the 3rd line. No chemistry boost. Would have had Holloway there, but you can see it's a -1. Same 4th line as before, McLeod, Millette, and Poulin. I feel like they'll be fine defensively here. So Taves, Riley, top pair. They're both 90 overall with a +3. They're even higher. Murphy, Broberg, second pair. Johnson, Borgen there on the bottom. I like the depth there. Obviously, the second pairing could be higher rated, but both Broberg and Johnson still growing. And it's, and we got a sick top pair there in Taves and Riley. Goaltending-wise, Carter Hart, 89 overall starter. Vinny backing him up. He's up to an 82 now. The team looks pretty good in terms of the AHL team. So we got Dorofeyev on the 1st line, Niederback and Tullio. Lombardi, Suzuki, Iskakov on the 2nd. Ostapchuk, Simino, Chason with Ronnie, Protis, and Kizakov. 4th line. Defensively here, we got Norland on the top pair, Sandin Pellikka. He's an 80, so like maybe could put him in the NHL, but I think it makes sense to wait one more season on him. Hamo Somley there on the 2nd pairing with Dvorak, who's actually a 75 now. 21 years old. He could also potentially get to an 80 by next season if he grows well this year. Kuliachonic, Sabrongo, bottom pair. And then goaltending, Jones is still the starter there with Orr backing him up. So, like I said, guys, both teams are looking solid. And next year, guys, I'll show what our ratings are looking like heading into next year. Again, so far, I've not made it past the conference final. maybe next year will be our year. We've got 97 offense, 95 defense, 88 goaltending. Team's looking better. I think, with Crosby playing with McDavid, maybe the stars are going to align. We'll finally win a cup for McDavid. Obviously, you guys have to wait and find out, though. If you enjoyed this one, leave that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the sub button down below. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.